Good morning, everyone. So, I am here with the Indian Express newspaper, and today's date is 3rd December 2025. Okay, so let's move on to the first slide of this newspaper, and this is about the world. Okay, so what is happening in the world? After an announced ban on visit for over a month, Imran Healthy subjected to mental torture sister after meeting him. Okay, move on to the another. It's about the Putin host US team for talks on peace in Ukraine. Lanka SE Asia flood toll cross 1300. Okay, it's about Israel where Israeli fire kills 4 in Gaza West Bank. Move on to the another slide. This is the front page. Okay, that was about the world, and this slide is just the first slide. I don't know why the pages are here and there, not in order, but move on to the this slide. Okay, so it's about the surveillance which uproar by the government says user can delete Sanchar Sathi app. Okay, Apple Google set to push back citing privacy and system security concern. Okay, move on to the another news. It's about visit tomorrow, pressure on India, need to secure our trade, says Kremlin ahead of Putin visit. Okay, move on to the another. It's about the government opposition agree to debate Vande Mataram electoral reforms. Pune researchers find a spiral galaxy like Milky Way from early universe. This is the second page where you get detailed explanation of the first page. That's why I'm moving this page. So this is about the city where high surfactant level ammonia and microplastic in Yamuna, said by Thierry. Another is about also that air pollution and how the Delhi government is trying to control that air pollution. Okay, police thrown after DMRC blocks MB road without notice. Okay, so move on to the city where exploded in flames, blocked victim way, says slum residents. This is about the parliament winter session. Stop stops SIR, stop vote chori. I think this is the topic. Where Union Minister Kiren Rijiju arrived at Parliament as opposition leader, hold a protest against the special intensive revision of electoral roll on Tuesday. Okay, opposition shedding crocodile tears. Okay, so it's Manipur grievances drama. Finance Minister. Okay. So what about the words? What are the words that is said by the finance minister in terms of that Manipur grievances? And he said that it's all drama to skip from the GST bill that is opposed on there. Okay, move on to the another. It's about the House panel lead to bring down non-scheduled drug price. Okay. Finally, we are at the politics page where the Mamta announces rupees 2 lakh aid token of 39 who died on SIR panic. Okay. Congress leads charge against SIR but struggle to appoint BLAs in UP. Okay. Consider Kerala request to extend SIR's Supreme Court to Election Commission. Okay. Move on to the another news, and I think we already read about the headlines, whichever is relevant. Okay, so let's read each and everything whatever is left, but we are going to read detailed slide of the editorial economy and explain page. Okay, that's why I am just reading the headlines of this newspaper. So Kashi Tamil Sangamam MOS Murugan said he couldn't learn Hindi in Tamil Nadu owing to politics. No language barrier, vested interest creating it Pradhan. It's about the nation where the 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji is celebrated, where Nehru wanted to use public funds on Babri. Patel opposed, said by Rajnath Singh. Hmm. From PM's private dinner to President's banquet, India all set for Putin's state visit. Okay, so on 4 December, there is a private dinner on Thursday where it is hosted by PM Modi, and they are talking about that bilateral talks which address the business leaders from both countries, Russia and India, and there are some operations that and banquet by President Draupadi Murmu, and they are going to address that session that day on 4 December. Okay, so there is official visit announced by the government of President Putin on 4 December. Okay, and they mainly talking about the business deals and business arguments. Okay, so these all are the things. Moving on to the another one. Finally, we are at the editorial page and we are going to read it in detail in a very explanative way so that you will get a lot of ideas that what is happening in the economy and whatever the things. Okay, so the first before going to read about this editorial page, let's read about the thought of the day, where those who give up essential liberty to to purchase temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. That's a good thing. Okay, and this is the one of the best thought of the day, because whoever who give the liberty just for temporary safety or anything, don't give your liberty, your freedom, because of certain events or anything, because at the end you don't get your safety and your independence of freedom. Okay, liberty means that freedom. So it's by Benjamin Franklin. So move on to the topics. Before going to read a single topic in detail or single editorial in detail, what's the authors want to tell about. But first we are going to read about the headlines of today's editorials. Okay, and after that we are going to conclude which is going to be read out or not. Okay, so turns soft sport for Russia into hard gains for Delhi. Okay, forcing down app erodes privacy hurt businesses. For democracy shake an index of legislature. What AI has to do with motherhood? So these all are the topics. So I think it's the best topic of all topics are important and vital, but I'm going to read a single topic in detail, and I will say to you all that please read the another leftover topics, because I don't have that much time or that much, yeah, things, so that I am unable to read each and everything in detail. But a single topic is enough for me, but not for you, for any aspirants. Please read each and every topic in detail. If you get this newspaper in free, or I will upload this PDF in the description, go and download from there. Okay, so President Vladimir Putin visit to India this week, his first in 4 years, comes in the midst of intensifying peace effort in Ukraine. It offers Delhi an opportunity to reinvent the relationship with Russia that is much valued but performed well below potential and is rather squeed. Despite Delhi's ritual celebration of Moscow as India's best friend forever, the reality is less flattering. Indo-Russian ties have been reduced to a thin crewel over the year. Its narrow government to government interface has little traction among India's new elite or its dynamic private sector. The Russian presence in Indian public life is a faint echo of the Soviet past. In Moscow, too, there are some points it says about that Putin personal commitment rather than structural Russian interest. Okay, where it going to be built some familiar menu of defense sales with Russia. Okay, discounting oil. These all are the topics that are going to be talk or that are going to be discussed on the visit of Putin on 4 December. Okay, and the PM Modi and President Murmu both are welcoming him on December 4. Okay, and these are the topics that are going to be on the that are going to be discussed. Okay, discounting oil, I will highlight it. Okay, scientific partnership, commercial, technological, these all are the important topics. Okay, so India exports barely dollar $5 billion to Russia to there is much room for growth. Russia is $2.5 trillion economy. If peace break out and Moscow reconnect with Europe and US, what India must position itself to participate in both. That Delhi must do this while Russia remain locked in conflict with India's principal economic partner, the US. Europe is unfortunate but have ignored economics for so long that has little time to waste. There are, however, reasons for caution. Optimists nearly 4 years into Ukraine war, it is evident that West cannot defeat Russia at its own border. President Vladimir Zelensky demanding just peace, dignified peace, reflect Kiev shaking hand and the inevitability of Western concession. It is the only question of when and how much. Okay, so where how high powered American delegation means the power that is distributed in Moscow to push forward to peace settlement. Okay, so after consultants with President Putin Zelensky, uh, President Donald Trump envoy real estate landed in Moscow this week to attempt comprehensive deal. PM Modi should receive a first-hand account of these negotiations from Putin. Okay, so the idea that Delhi could maintain strong ties and its consequences of India's commercial ties with US and Europe. So only Russia accommodation with West can lose this favorable external environment that India faces. Okay, so uh, through through Delhi's reluctance to condemn Russia's invasion and dramatic surge in oil import triggered widespread irritation in the West. President Joe Biden resisted, turned India's Russia ties into breaking point to the expanding US India partnership. Trump looked the opposite approach, imposing an additional 25% tariff on Indian export, citing India's large purchase of Russian oil. Okay, so Trump is more anti Russia than Biden. On the contrary, Trump is arguably the most pro Russian US president since World War II. While penalizing India for buying Russian oil, Trump is eager to open it's mainly eager to open about that secure privilege access to Ukraine natural resources, all of them. Okay, so so the war has ruptured the economic natural economic interdependence between Europe and Russia, Trump could well sideline Europe in Ukraine's economic development, where Europe's long-term quest for strategic autonomy then require both deterrence and a direct engagement with Moscow to build a new regional security architecture. So India must navigate this flux by strengthening ties with all three. What looked impossible in 2022 now appear plausible, but Delhi must first correct the distortion in its Russia policy. A partner built overwhelmingly on defense and nuclear cooperation must broaden to include trade, technology, okay, and scientific collaboration. Where a visit century ago, when Putin made his first visit to India as president in 2000, he sought to end Russia's post Soviet neglect of India. The opportunity was missed by both. So, this week offers a fresh chance for Modi Putin to put relationship on a stronger, more modern footing. Okay, so these all are the things that are going to be talked, and it's the Delhi's reluctance to condemn Russia's invasion. Okay, and US India partnership, expanding of that partnership. So Trump took opposite approach. So all of the things that are talked by the author. So author is just trying to give us the idea about that meet of Russian president and the India's president, and they are going to talk about a lot of trade deals and a lot of trade important talks. Okay, so these all are the things inside that editorial, inside this editorial, and I hope you all get a lot of ideas that in the 4th December there is a meet of them, and a lot of topics were discussed there. Okay, moving on to the another slide. So this is the ideas page. This is about the nation where India's third nuclear submarine soon trial in final stage, says Navy chief. Navy Chief Dinesh K. Tripathi in New Delhi. Okay, Admiral. How 5 all eggs were shaved and a miracle hatched at a stone quarry in Telangana. Day after Kashmir man held in Rubiya Saeed abduction case, court junk CBI remand plea. This is the big picture. This is the explanation page where the first topic explain about the technology, then science, then law, then the policy. So read each and everything in detail. Union Minister of Communication Jyotiraditya C. Sindhya. It's about the communication and around Sarthi. So what's inside it? What government's mobile app does: allow tracking and blocking or lost stole phones anywhere in India. Give users the option to block lost or stole mobile phones. Can assist police authorities in tracing a stolen or lost device, which can potentially prevent counterfeit phones from entering the black market. Allow users to report suspected fraud, communication via calls, SMS, or platform like WhatsApp. Okay, so finally we are at the economy page, and in this page we are going to read each and everything in detail. So the first thing is about annual credit, annual report of Oms, Ombudsman Scheme 2024 released by RBI. Credit card customer complaint spiked 20% in fiscal year 25. Top banks grievances. Private banks get the most complaint. Overall credit card complaints suggested by 20.4%. Okay. So, amid a strong quarter 2 GDP growth, will RBI's MPC cut interest rate or maintain a status quo? So, Sanjay Malhotra is just trying to give the strong GDP growth, that is uh, foreseen, or that is given in the perspective of RBI, where RBI's MPC cut interest rate. Okay, so MPC means the Monetary Policy Committee is largely expected to keep the repo rate unchanged for third consecutive time at its upcoming meeting scheduled from December 3 to 5. The policy review back the country's gross GDP growing 8.2%. Okay, it's not the prescriptive perspective, okay, or any forcing thing. It's the real. They are just trying to predict, but it's the real or the expected estimated figure of 8.2% in quarter 2. Okay, so economists feel RBI will also revise the inflation and growth forecast for current fiscal year. Okay, so key policy rates of this quarter 2 year means 2026, and these are the GDP inflation projections. Okay, Maruti Suzuki targets 1 lakh EV charging point by 2030. After labor, land and power reform can be worked on. So finally, we read about all the important things and all the important news. So it's the sports segment where the star falls in line after saying not a believer in lot of preparation. Kohli to play Hazare. Cricket India's universal mood lifter arrives in Raipur. Okay, so read it and you will get a lot of important things. So please read each and every line in detail, and I will upload the PDF of this newspaper in the description. Go at the description box and download this newspaper so that you will get a lot of important ideas. Okay, so please go and watch. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.